I'm in pain pretty much every single day, but I figured out small ways to feel alive by repeating little things, little wins every day that lead up to big compounding results. Now, past decade of my life, I've been in chronic pain. Scoliosis, herniated disc, sciatic, SI joint issue. More recently, right now, I'm dealing with some new joint flare up on my nerve, which is super fun. But dark place over the past several years, to be completely honest. It's kind of weird for me to talk to on camera, but if you're dealing with chronic pain yourself, this is going to be helpful for you. I'm in a spot now where I can think a little more clearly through these things than I did previously. I'm like 250 pounds now. A few years ago, I was 270 pounds. Last year, I got down to 230 when I was on a real good solid 10-week kick, and then my back went out and gained all the way back, which is probably a story you're familiar with if you're watching this. But something I've been figuring out slowly more and more over time, is how much small habits or wins lead up to big results. And when you're dealing with whatever kind of chronic condition you're dealing with, myself, small things can be getting up out of bed and making my own breakfast or making breakfast for my wife and I, especially if it's like a healthy breakfast. That would be a small win. I would log it in my phone on my notes app or a notepad, whiteboard, whatever works for you, and give that a big check off or circle, whatever makes you feel happy. That serotonin, that dopamine boost right there, it's going to flood your body and it's going to continue through the day, even just minimally. It can be as small as doing your own dishes after a meal, or taking out the trash, or walking your dog, finishing a work assignment, not binge watching TV the entire night after work, reading a book instead. Those small wins over time, they're going to change the way you think through things in life for the better, because they're going to compound, right? This famous, I want to say it was an admiral, gave some kind of commencement speech about how important it is to make your bed every morning, because that's the first decision of your day. You check that off, you continue, and it just compounds and snowballs into the rest of the day. That's a little system right there you can put in place as soon as today. Just make one small decision that feels like a little win, just a small win, I completely understand. I mean, a lot of last year, I was using a cane for a good amount. Sorry, there's flies in here. I was using a cane for a good amount. I had to have my wife help me off the couch. My sciatic just really crippled me. I had to leave a friend's wedding in the middle of it. It was super embarrassing. It's in the church, a three-piece suit, sweating bullets. I locked eyes with the choir boy, and he saw me like looking at me like, "You need help, man." I was like, "Yeah, I do with my eyes," but I took off my tie and stuff. I had to run out of there. Thankfully, our hotel was 5 minutes away, but it was in the city. I barely caught a cab, and honestly, I thought I was gonna have to relieve myself in a trash can nearby, because when it pinches in my back, it really hits my stomach, my digestive system. For some reason, science. Where is it at? So yeah, I understand you can get into a dark place though, overall with chronic pain. That's why these small wins like this, they add up over time. So I used to be a pretty fit guy. I grew up in a household, my dad and mom ran an MMA gym for my whole life. My dad still does. So super kind of intense health and wellness background. And I was always a pretty fit guy until this past 10 years or so. I've really had this bad flare up for my back. But now I'm using 3-pound dumbbells for certain workouts, where I used to use maybe 50, 60, 70, 80-pound dumbbells. Some people might think of that as falling backwards, but I think of it as movement forward, because a year ago, I couldn't even touch weights. I look at weights and my back goes out on me. So now I'm just kind of rebuilding slowly but steadily. This heavy bag in the background, I can't use that right now. My back will go out in a second. But, 3 years ago, I didn't have that mindset. I would try to do it and my back would go out again and again and again. So now I have this standing up here as motivation for me to work towards. One day, Might be a year from now, might be a little longer. I'm gonna document my journey going through this, and you'll kind of see how I progress. I think that'll be a fun thing, kind of an accountability thing for me, as well as hopefully I can help somebody who's in a worse off position than myself think through, see there's light at the end of the tunnel for you. One book I read, Atomic Habits, I want to say James Clear wrote it, fact check me on that, but Atomic Habits, awesome book. Main concept is about these small micro habits, atomic habits, that compound and lead to a better life overall. So for instance, one big thing that's been helping me dramatically is having a set bedtime, getting my nighttime in order. That affects my morning and the rest of my following day. When I sleep better, my back feels better slowly, right? Doesn't flare up as much. Or my brain is just more mentally clear, right? Part of that routine for myself is, the obvious, not looking at a screen an hour before bed, that kind of thing, keeping the cool temperature going, keeping a consistent bedtime routine, but also reading instead of scrolling my phone at night. So to do that, part of this Atomic Habits theory, concept, is to put things where, so you put things in your line of sight where it doesn't create friction to get done or do. So for me, it's putting my book that I'm currently reading right on my nightstand where I can just grab it, open it, read it, really easy, no friction. My rule is as long as I read one page, it counts. And that's good. That's a small habit you're building up to. Some days it's 2 pages, some days it's 3. More recently, I've been reading an entire chapter. And that just helps progress, but slowly. It doesn't have to be a massive thing. You don't have to read a book a week or a book a month even. It could be a book a year. Read a page a day. Whatever it is, small compounding habits are going to lead to big change in your chronic health condition, mentally at the very least. And that's a huge part of this game, is to recover mentally. Because as I was saying, we can get in a dark place when you have chronic pain. You see all these people doing fun stuff, you're missing out on things, you have to say no a lot. It sucks, it can suck a lot. But, hopefully you took away something from this. Comment below if you did. Share your story below. Be cool to connect. And like this video, subscribe to my channel. You can watch this video next for more.